Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel where we explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable steel penny coins hiding in your pocket change. If you're someone who loves coin, collecting, or just enjoys discovering hidden treasures, then you're going to love today's video. First up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel wheat penny with an S mint mark is one of the most distinctive and historically significant coins in American coinage. The S mint mark below the date indicates that this coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint. What makes this coin stand out from almost every other Lincoln cent is its unusual steel composition. It was struck on a zinc-coated steel planchet instead of the usual copper. This change happened during World War II, making the 1943 steel penny a true wartime coin and a fascinating piece of U.S. history. In 1943, copper was urgently needed for wartime supplies, such as bullet casings, electrical wiring, and other military equipment. To conserve copper for the war effort, the U.S. Mint temporarily switched to using steel planchets coated with zinc to make pennies. These coins appeared silver in color rather than the traditional reddish tone of copper, and because of their steel content, they are magnetic, something no other regular U.S. cent has been before or since. On the obverse, the coin displays Abraham Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, along with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," above his head, "Liberty" to his left, and 1943 S to the right, with the S mint mark denoting the San Francisco Mint. The reverse features the familiar wheat ears design, framing the inscriptions, 1 cent, United States of America, and E pluribus unum. The San Francisco Mint produced 550,000 of these 1943 S steel cents, making them widely available but still interesting to collectors because of their unique composition and wartime origin. However, because steel pennies were prone to rust, corrosion, and discoloration, finding clean, untarnished examples has become increasingly difficult. You mentioned that your coin is in dirty condition with some scratches. That description suggests a circulated coin that has seen years of handling and may have lost some of its original zinc shine. A dirty appearance on a steel penny often means it has oxidation, dark gray or black spots, or light rust, common problems for these coins due to their metallic nature. The scratches you noted could have come from circulation or contact with other coins, and while they may reduce the eye appeal, they don't erase the historical significance. In grading terms, a coin in good, G to fine, F condition shows heavy wear, but the main details like Lincoln's portrait, the date, and the wheat stalks are still clear and readable. On your coin, Lincoln's face may appear smooth, the hair details faint, and the wheat stalks outlined but missing much of the inner lines. The dirty look is likely from age-related toning or surface oxidation rather than soil. In today's market, 2025, a 1943 S Lincoln steel wheat penny in dirty condition with some scratches typically has a value of around 10 to 20 cents. That range reflects a circulated example with visible wear and discoloration. If the coin were cleaner, with more original silver-gray color and minimal rust, it might be worth closer to 25 to 40 cents. In higher grades, the 1943 S penny becomes more valuable. A very fine VF example could sell for about 50 cents, and an extra fine XF coin may reach $1 to $150. Uncirculated, mint state examples with full luster and no signs of rust or dark spots are often worth $300 to $800, while certified MS-65 graded pieces with brilliant surfaces can command $15 to $25 or more. Despite its modest value in circulated grades, the 1943 S steel penny remains a highly collectible and historically important coin. It represents one of the few times in U.S. mint history that coin composition was drastically changed for national reasons. Because of this, nearly every collector includes at least one steel penny in their Lincoln cent set. It's also worth noting that a few rare errors from 1943 exist. Most famously, the 1943 copper penny, which was mistakenly struck on leftover copper planchets from 1942. Those rare copper coins can be worth tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. But your coin, being the standard steel version, is not one of those rare errors. Since your coin is described as dirty, you might be tempted to clean it to make it look shinier. However, cleaning is not recommended. Steel pennies have a thin zinc coating that easily wears away when rubbed or polished. Once that coating is gone, the exposed steel quickly rusts, permanently damaging the surface. It's best to leave the coin as is and store it in a dry environment, ideally in a plastic coin holder or flip, to prevent further corrosion. From a historical perspective, the 1943 steel penny is a tangible symbol of America's resilience during World War II. Millions of people handled these coins during the 1940s, often not realizing their change in metal was part of a larger national effort to support the troops overseas. Every mark, scratch, and sign of wear tells the story of that period. A story of sacrifice, innovation, and strength. Next up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel wheat penny without. A mint mark is one of the most recognizable and historically fascinating coins ever produced by the United States Mint. The lack of a mint mark means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which was responsible for producing the largest number of these coins during World War II. What makes the 1943 penny special is that it was made of steel coated with zinc instead of the usual copper, a dramatic and temporary change in composition caused by the wartime demand for copper. In 1943, copper was considered essential for the production of wartime materials, including shell casings, electrical wiring, and other military equipment. To conserve copper for the war effort, the U.S. Mint used zinc-coated steel planchets for 1 year to produce Lincoln cents. These coins appeared grayish-silver in color, rather than the traditional reddish-brown of copper, giving them an unusual and eye-catching appearance. Because they were made of steel, they are also magnetic, a feature that distinguishes them from nearly every other American coin. Your coin is described as being in fine condition with some scratches, which suggests that it circulated for some time before being kept as a collectible. In this grade, the coin would still show clear details of Lincoln's portrait and the date, though with noticeable wear on the high points, such as Lincoln's cheek and jaw. The wheat ears on the reverse would be visible, but the inner lines may be faint or missing. The scratches you mentioned likely come from years of handling, contact with other coins, or being stored loosely over time. In fine F condition, the steel penny retains much of its design, but shows wear and surface marks consistent with circulation. The zinc coating may have dulled or slightly discolored over time, giving the coin a gray, bluish, or even slightly brown tone in some areas. Light rust spots or surface oxidation are common for 1943 steel cents, as the steel underneath the thin zinc layer is vulnerable to corrosion when exposed to moisture or air. As of today's market in 2025, a 1943 Philadelphia steel wheat penny, in fine condition with some scratches, generally has a value between 10 and 20 cents. That makes it one of the most affordable coins from the Lincoln series, but also one of the most interesting due to its unique history and composition. While it may not carry a high price, its importance as a wartime issue gives it great sentimental and historical value. If your coin were in very fine VF condition, it could be worth around 25 to 35 cents. A cleaner example with less wear might fetch 50 cents to $1, while uncirculated mint state coins with bright original luster can sell for $3 to $8. The most pristine examples, graded MS-65 or higher, can bring $15 to $25 or more. especially when free of rust or dark spots. It's worth noting that some rare errors and variations exist from 1943. The most famous is the 1943 copper penny, which occurred when a few leftover copper planchets from 1942 were accidentally struck instead of the intended steel ones. Only a handful of genuine 1943 copper pennies are known to exist, and they can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on condition. However, your coin, being a standard steel cent without a mint mark, is not one of those rare errors. Collectors prize the 1943 steel penny as a historical artifact of the World War II era. These coins tell the story of how every aspect of American life, even the smallest denomination coin, was affected by the war effort. Millions of Americans at the time noticed the new silvery color of their pennies and even confused them with dimes. Some disliked them because they rusted easily, while others kept them as souvenirs of a difficult but proud moment in U.S. history. If you plan to keep your 1943 steel penny, it's important to store it properly. Avoid cleaning it, as polishing or scrubbing can remove the thin zinc coating and expose the steel core underneath, which would lead to rusting and lower its value. Instead, store it in a dry environment, ideally in a coin holder or protective sleeve that keeps moisture out. Even though this coin's market value is modest, its historical value is immense. Every 1943 steel penny is a small piece of America's wartime legacy, a reminder of the country's resilience and resourcefulness during one of its most challenging times. Your coin, despite the scratches and signs of age, remains a tangible link to the past and a symbol of national unity during the Second World War. Next up, the 1937 Abraham Lincoln. Wheat penny without a mint mark is a classic and desirable coin among collectors of early 20th century U.S. cents. The absence of a mint mark indicates that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced the majority of Lincoln cents that year. The 1937 issue comes from the pre-World War II era, a time when the United States was still recovering from the Great Depression, making coins from this period both historically significant and interesting to collectors today. A brown color shade indicates that the coin has naturally aged over time. When originally minted, all Lincoln cents were a bright reddish color due to their 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc composition. Over decades of circulation and exposure to air, moisture, and handling, the surface of the copper oxidizes and changes color, developing rich tones of red-brown or dark brown. Collectors often describe coins as red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, based on how much of the original color remains. Brown coins, like yours, are the most common, especially for circulated examples, but they still hold collector interest when well preserved. In extra fine XF condition, a 1937 Lincoln cent shows only light wear on the high points of the design. Lincoln's hair and cheek details are still clearly visible, with just minor smoothing on the jawline and beard. The lettering and date are sharp, and the wheat stalks on the reverse retain most of their inner lines, though a few may show light wear. Scratches, as you mentioned, are common for coins of this age and typically come from years of handling or contact with other coins in pockets or bags. While light scratches can slightly reduce eye appeal, they usually don't severely impact the overall collectible value unless they are deep or distracting. The Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 309,770,000 Lincoln cents in 1937, making it a fairly high mintage issue. Therefore, it's not considered rare, but higher-grade examples like yours remain attractive to collectors who seek coins with strong detail and minimal damage. In today's coin market, 2025, a 1937 wheat penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition, XF, and brown color with minor scratches is generally worth between 0.25 and $0.55 USD. The exact value can vary slightly depending on eye appeal, toning, and surface cleanliness. If your coin were in uncirculated, mint state condition, values would increase notably, typically between $2 and $5 for a red-brown piece, and up to $10 to $15 for a bright red example with full luster. Graded examples in MS65, red can even reach $25 or more, though such high-quality pieces are uncommon. Beyond its market value, the 1937 Lincoln penny holds historical charm. It was minted just 2 years before World War II began in Europe, at a time when the U.S. economy was improving after years of hardship during the Great Depression. Many Americans relied on small change like this penny for daily purchases, and it's likely your coin passed through countless hands. Perhaps buying bread, postage, or a newspaper during that pivotal time in history. Its brown tone and light scratches tell a story of age and circulation. Rather than diminishing its worth, these characteristics serve as a testament to its long journey. Each small imperfection reminds collectors and history enthusiasts alike that this coin has survived nearly 9 decades, carrying the memory of an era when every penny had real buying power. If you wish to preserve your coin, avoid cleaning or polishing it even if it looks slightly dull. Cleaning can permanently damage the surface and remove the original patina, significantly lowering its collectible value. Instead, gently store it in a protective coin holder or sleeve to prevent further scratches or oxidation. Next up, the 1950 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a popular mid-century collectible that captures the enduring legacy of the Lincoln cent design. The absence of a mint mark indicates that this coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced the majority of Lincoln pennies that year. The coin belongs to the final decade of the famous wheat ears reverse design, which ran from 1909 to 1958 before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse in 1959. Your coin is described as being in very fine VF condition, showing some scratches, and struck in the standard bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. In this grade, the coin shows moderate wear from circulation, but most design details remain visible. On the obverse, Lincoln's cheek and jawline may be slightly worn, but the hairlines and facial features are still well-defined. The reverse will show light flattening on the wheat stalks, but the inner lines and details are still recognizable. The scratches you mentioned are common in circulated coins and usually result from contact with other coins, storage in bags, or handling over many years. While they may slightly reduce eye appeal, they don't drastically affect the coin's overall collectible value unless they are deep or disfiguring. The Philadelphia Mint produced a total of 272,635,000 wheat pennies in 1950, a fairly large mintage, making this coin common in circulation, but still appealing to collectors who enjoy mid-century Lincoln cents in attractive condition. In C20T1, today's market, 2025, a 1950 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in very fine condition and with minor scratches generally has a value between 10 and 25 cents USD. The exact value depends on the sharpness of detail, color tone, and overall eye appeal. Coins with uniform brown toning and clean surfaces often fall toward the higher end of this range. If your coin were in extra fine XF condition, its value could rise to around 30 to 40 cents, while an uncirculated, mint state coin with original reddish luster might sell for $1 to $3. High-grade examples graded MS65. Red can even fetch $10 to $15 from collectors seeking vibrant, well-preserved wheat pennies. Your 1950 wheat penny likely shows a brown or red-brown color, a natural result of copper's aging process. Over decades, the bright red luster from freshly struck coins darkens as the metal reacts with air and oils from handling, creating a warm brown patina. Collectors often appreciate this natural toning as it adds character and shows authenticity. Historically, the 1950 wheat penny comes from the post-World War II era, a time of great economic growth and industrial expansion in the United States. Millions of these pennies circulated through a rapidly modernizing society, buying candy, postage stamps, and other daily essentials in the 1950s. Although worth only 1 cent at the time, each coin represented an era of optimism, family life, and post-war prosperity. Even though your coin's monetary value may seem modest, its historical and sentimental value is significant. Every 1950 wheat penny connects collectors to the rich history of American coinage and the enduring symbolism of Abraham Lincoln, whose image has now appeared on the cent for well over a century. If you wish to keep your coin as part of a collection, it's best to store it in a protective holder or coin flip to prevent further wear or scratches. Avoid cleaning or polishing it, as doing so can remove the natural surface patina and reduce its collectible worth. Coin collectors highly value originality, even when a coin shows age and signs of circulation. Next up, the 1952 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny with a D mint mark is an interesting mid-century coin that continues to attract collectors, both for its historical context and its place in the long-running Lincoln cent series. The D mint mark, located just below the date on the obverse side of the coin, indicates that it was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the 3 facilities producing Lincoln cents that year. The obverse of your 1952 D penny features the classic bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909. Around Lincoln's portrait are the inscriptions, "In God We Trust" across the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1952, with the small D mint mark below it. This familiar and enduring design remains one of the most recognized images in U.S. coinage. On the reverse, the coin carries the well-known wheat ears design, also by Brenner, which gives the wheat penny its name. The 2 wheat stalks curve around the inscriptions 1 cent, United States of America, and the motto E pluribus unum. This reverse design symbolizes prosperity and abundance, and it was used on Lincoln cents from 1909 to 1958, before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. Your coin is described as being in dirty condition, with some scratches, which means it has likely seen significant circulation over the decades. Dirty condition generally refers to surface discoloration or grime that has built up from handling, exposure to moisture, and contact with other coins or materials. While this does not necessarily harm the metal itself, it does affect the coin's appearance and can make fine details less visible. Collectors typically prefer coins with clean but unaltered surfaces, so it's best not to clean or polish it, as that can cause permanent damage and reduce value. The 1952 D wheat penny was struck from the standard bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. Because copper naturally reacts with oxygen and oils over time, it tends to darken and develop brown or reddish-brown tones, which is completely normal. Your coin's dirt and scratches add character and reflect its long journey through circulation, likely spanning the post-World War II era and the booming years of the 1950s. In fine to very fine condition, a 1952 D penny shows moderate wear on Lincoln's portrait, but all major features, including the date, mint mark, and lettering, remain visible. The reverse wheat ears will show wear along the edges, with some loss of fine inner lines, but the main design is still intact. Light to moderate scratches are expected for coins that circulated for many years. The Denver Mint produced a very large number of these coins, approximately 730,000 sanaols in total, making the 1952 D one of the more common wheat pennies. Because of this high mintage, circulated examples like yours are widely available, and the coin's value depends mostly on condition, color, and eye appeal rather than rarity. In today's market, 2025, a 1952 D Lincoln wheat penny in dirty condition with some scratches typically holds a value between 5 and 10 cents. If lightly cleaned by natural wear, not artificially polished, and the details remain clear, the value might reach 15 to 20 cents. In extra fine XF condition, where the coin has less wear and better detail, prices range from 20 to 35 cents. Uncirculated, mint state. 1952 to D pennies with original red luster can be worth significantly more, often between $1 and $3 depending on grade. The most pristine examples, graded MS65 red, can reach $10 to $15. However, circulated examples like yours are prized more for their history and charm than their monetary worth. The 1952 outer T wheat penny represents a period in U.S. history when coins like these were a daily necessity. In the early 1950s, 1 cent could buy a piece of candy, a newspaper, or a few minutes on a payphone. Millions of Americans handled pennies just like yours every day, making them a tangible link to the country's past. While your coin may have a modest financial value, it carries strong historical significance. The scratches and dirt on its surface tell the story of its long life. From pocket change to a collectible artifact over 70 years later. Many collectors appreciate circulated coins for precisely this reason. They hold real stories of use, survival, and time. If you wish to preserve it, it's best to store your coin in a protective plastic holder or 262 coin flip to prevent further oxidation or surface damage. Avoid cleaning, as it removes the natural patina that collectors value. Instead, let the coin remain as it is, a genuine artifact with authentic aging and history.